Why are you Jorden Kyle?
That's a convoluted question, man. But I would say, let's see. Let me dig deep, right?
Convoluted? I have not heard that word in a very long time. So
He's
I'm gonna
educated man.
You know, I feel like I'm a wordsmith, and I still don't know what that means.
I think it means like packed with different.
Convolutes.
Yeah, man. It's like you can answer that in a lot of different ways, right? So I guess I can take it partially literal, partially metaphorical, right? Which I think is a good way to do it. Hit all angles. On the literal aspect, like it is a spin-off of my middle name to my first name. Growing up making music as long as I've been, about 10 years now. I used to go by like Wonder, right? So it was like, had nothing to do with my name.
Yeah.
It was like a spin-off of a nickname I got in high school. So I feel like one day I kind of woke up and realized that it just didn't really click with me. It wasn't really who I was. I sat back and looked at the word and like the name. I was like, I don't know if that really resonates with how I feel about myself. So I decided just to, instead of digging deep and coming up with something, I decided just to kind of spin it off from my normal name, Nothing is more true to self than your real name.
Okay. Well, so, and this is why we asked that question. On Nobody's Listening, what's important to our show is that it really sticks to like almost the grassroots of an artist, particularly upcoming artists like yourself, Yeah. And when I hear your music, I really do feel like you're capturing kind of the spirit and the essence of what I think Jorden Kyle is. But when you answer the question, I want you to dig a little bit deeper, okay? So you gave me like why you're Jorden Kyle in terms of like why you call yourself that. In terms of why are you an artist? Why are you a producer? Why are you in this music thing? What is your why? What is your purpose?
I feel like, man, it's just the only thing that ever really clicked with me. You know what I mean? I had a lot of hobbies growing up. I used to skate. I used to, play games and shit, But I feel like with music, man, it's like the one thing where I feel like I was kind of in control of my own destiny. So
That's deep.
Yeah, I mean, it really is brought up. And of anything that I've ever like really picked up in terms of hobbies or just interests, I feel like I could look at music as something that, the success or failures that I take on the chin are all up to me and like how much effort I put into it, right? And I feel like that's really powerful.
Yeah.
Nothing else really gave me that feeling. So I really wanted to take it like full throttle with this. But I'm Jorden Kyle because, man, like this music shit is the only thing that really like gets me up in the beginning of the day, you know? And I go to bed at night knowing if I did something cool with my music, if I went out and shot a piece of content that I liked, or if I made a cool edit, or if I made a new beat, recorded an artist, made my own song, whatever, performed, it's a good feeling. So I'm Jorden Kyle because that's my lifeblood, man.
I love that. I love that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was... And Zay, I'll pop it over to you. I'm so enamored. You know what it is? I don't want to say in debt because I know he's humble. Jorden Kyle produced one of my songs, and like I feel like I know a lot and still not enough about the guy. What was the point in your life where that switch flipped for you, where it's like, oh, okay, like this is my thing, and you started to take it a little more like professionally or seriously?
Yeah, I would say like during the pandemic, man.
Okay.
During the pandemic, I know a lot of people went through like life changes during that time, right? But I feel like I had a lot of time on my hands, more than ever. And like 2018, 2019 that was like the time of me moving out of my parents' house, getting to experience San Francisco. I was going to college out there. So I was partying a lot. I was like getting to meet a lot of new people, but I didn't spend a lot of alone time. You feel me? So I feel like in order to really dig deep and like understand who you are as an artist, whether it's music, whether you paint, or dance, whatever form of artistry, like you need to spend a lot of alone time with yourself. And I feel like when the pandemic hit, I was kind of forced to go through that.
Yeah.
And so like I just had a lot more time on my hands. So I just started to experiment more with different sounds, getting better at production, learning, how I wanted to approach my artistry, my craft. So yeah, I would say that was around the time in my life where it really started to switch for me.
That's crazy. Pandemic. So how many years into making music is that?
So I would say about, 2020, like 6 or 7.
6 or 7 years. Isn't it crazy how, like, Zay, how many years have you been making music?
Shit. Inconsistently, probably about 6.
We're all kind of inconsistent with it. A little bit, right? It's not like it's not a 9 to 5 where you clock in, okay, I'm going to make music from this time to this time, right? So you're saying 6 years.
About 6 years, yeah.
So 6 years, I mean, it's a long time, man.
Yeah.
So 6 years until the pandemic,
Yeah,
And then
like I've been making music for a long time, you know, but I mean, you go through phases with it. I always feel like artists kind of need to go through those phases where like maybe for a year you're just not even ripping off YouTube beats, but you're practicing over them, right?
Yeah.
I did that for like a year or two. And then you start working with a producer, or you start working with, like, you start leasing beats, taking them to studios, recording in home studios. You know, I went through all the steps, man. Like, if you could literally see, like, you know the picture, like, the evolution of man?
Yeah.
Like, it goes from, like, a chimpanzee to a man. Like, that was me through my musical journey, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I swear to God, every step, I didn't skip a step.
What was the chimpanzee version of Jorden Kyle? I mean, now I'm interested.
I want to hear it.
I used to go on YouTube, type in rap beat. Like, not even beats, not even instrumental.
Yeah.
I didn't know what an instrumental was because I was probably, like, 14, right?
Right.
So, yeah, man, like, literally just trap beat. Piano hip hop beat. Just, you know what I mean? Like, man, I was
emotional type beat.
Bro, I was guerrilla warfaring it. Yeah, they're just like real emotional type beat. Yep.
Yeah.
Keywords like that. Yeah, man. I mean, I did that for a couple years, and I just really learned how to, like, you know, bend words and rhyme and get my flow down. Obviously, that didn't get mastered until a long time after that. But yeah, all those steps, man. That was chimpanzee Jorden Kyle.
Chimpanzee Jorden Kyle.
Yeah.
And now what is human? Is it humanoid? Homo sapien? What is it?
Human?
Yeah,
man?
the
you know what I
upright,
mean?
the upright version. What is the
Yeah.
upright version of Jorden Kyle?
I feel like, man, there's a lot of layers to them, but if I'm talking just like the approach to the artistry, right, it's just like being able to do things independently, you know, understanding like that I can take a record from nothing to something, from zero to hero, you know what I mean?
From scratch. I've seen him do it. That's a
Yeah,
fact.
man.
Yeah, which is super impressive because
Appreciate
I feel like as an artist and having lots of other friends that are artists, I mean, the dream is to do everything yourself, to be independent, to not have to worry about or go to record labels and stuff for all of your production,
Definitely.
promo, content, everything.
For sure.
So it's really cool seeing all of your content is just homegrown, homemade,
Appreciate it, man.
and seeing like the whole process of it.
Thank
Because like
you.
you were saying, and I'm sure like if it was easy, everyone would do it, just like as everyone says.
Yeah.
But there's no blueprint to it as well.
There
'Cause,
isn't, man.
You know, we're all figuring it out. I mean, like for example, NFL players, like for the most part, you know kind of what it takes, which is your everyday 24/7, your hard work
Consistency.
from little all the way up. But for music, nobody's really laid out a blueprint. A lot of it's luck, if you could say that, or
That's fact.
extreme talent.
You know, hearing Zay talk reminded me a lot of dreams. You know, the reason we do this show in a backyard where we can hear dogs and wind and stuff is because in the 209, I can remember my experience was we would go to somebody's house and we kick it. It's not always like you're having these deep conversations, but you're with like your close friends, 6 to 10 people at a kickback. And at a certain point in the party, especially if you get a little tipsy, you start talking about like things that matter to you.
Yeah.
Right. So I know you said like the music matters to you. I'm curious, like, what is your goal with it? Like, where do you see yourself in like 5, 10 years?
I want to take it as far as I can, man. You know, like whatever that looks like. I think there's 2 paths I can see it going, you know. I can see it going to like monumental success, but I mean, I'm not banking on that at the end of the day. Like at the end of the day, if I die without going to an award show or getting in your awards at all, you know what I mean? I'm cool with that. I think I just want to at least get to a point where I'm self-sufficient off of it, especially financially, you know?
Yeah.
Because if I can just wake up and make music, bro, and not have to really work a 9 to 5, man, that's the ultimate goal, right? I think that's ultimate happiness, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
How much richer can a rich man be?
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
they say, you know, you do something you love, you don't have to work a day in your life, right? So it's not necessarily monetary. I feel like, tell me if you agree or disagree with this statement.
Okay.
I feel like artists who are only, keyword only, in it for the money will never reach their full potential.
yeah, bro, 100%. That's like my philosophy. I mean, this next weekend we're doing a free artist camp. You know what I mean? I'm not asking for a penny. You know, it's for the love of the craft, man. I think moments are more important than earnings to a certain extent. Like when you get to a certain level in your career, obviously you want to earn something back from it, from your hard work and your time. But man, like I look at it differently. Like I took a different approach, right? Because I work a 9 to 5, but I also have my music, which I'm fully like self-independent with, you know what I mean? So it's like, I get to kind of make my own decisions with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not like stressing out like, oh, I need to book 4 sessions next month or I'm not going to make rent. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like my approach is so lax right now. So yeah.
So you said two things there I want to cover. So Zay, I need you to be my responsibility buddy there, because I'm gonna forget one there.
Yeah.
You said artist camp. Now,
Yeah.
I know about it, but for the sake of content and interview, I'm gonna pretend like I have no idea what you're talking about. So artist camp, tell me what that is, why you're doing it.
We're just going camping, bro.
All right. We're just taking a bunch of
No,
people
I'm playing.
in the woods.
Kumbaya.
One mic, 30 artists.
One
for
mic,
real.
30 bears.
Not that wouldn't be fire though. Camping is
That would
great.
be sick.
But
A raccoon hops on the mic.
dog, for
Yo,
real.
hey, yo, load it up.
For real. Forest fire. Yeah, man, honestly, it kind of is what it sounds like, without the camping aspect. But honestly, man, I got inspired. It's kind of a cliche example, but I don't know if y'all seen like the Dreamville documentary when they were making Revenge 3.
Yeah.
Super cool, man. Like, there's not enough of those moments. I feel like a lot of what I see in the Bay, because that's the market and that's the area I live in, right? And this is no shade to any artists that do this. Like, a lot of session and like team building, I feel like it's always pay to play to a certain extent. There's studios that will host events. You might need to pay a ticket in. Like, not that I think that's a bad thing in any way, shape, or form, but I really just wanted to set an example of like, yo, we're not asking anyone for anything. If you really want to come and you're serious about working, you're serious about your craft and you're serious about your artistry and you really want to collaborate, like, this is a golden opportunity. Like, I don't really see a lot of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I kind of wanted to at least set an example. Maybe if someone sees me do it, they'll do it. And that's going to make the Bay Area and just music in general more collaborative space. Everything's so transactional is what I've noticed, So not that I never do transactions, right? But at the end of the day, like, this is going to be a special moment. So it couldn't fit the mold of everything else that we see out there. You know what I mean?
100%.
Cool.
Now, sorry, did I cut you off?
No,
I feel
go ahead.
I see your mind poking through your eyes, bro.
He's thinking, man.
I know he's thinking. You said something there about the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Right? First of all, I think it's super cool what you're doing. Like, the fact that like the Dreamville sessions are cool to watch, especially from the perspective of an upcoming artist. It's like, look, like, these guys are getting it the same way we do. They're just signed to a major label.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
100%.
that's cool. So when you think about other people's perceptions of the Bay Area, not necessarily yours, like, what do you think people outside of the Bay Area think of the Bay Area music scene in 2024?
Yeah, I mean, my viewpoint's going to be a little biased because I'm within that, as opposed to like outside looking in. I'm kind of inside looking out, but I do see that perspective, I think one of the sentiments I hear pretty regularly is that, we have a great culture. The music has a sound. We have tremendous artists. We're very down to earth people. All points which I agree with. I think like one thing I heard a few times in the past couple of years is like, we don't really have the space figured out. I don't know if we like are utilizing it to the best of our ability. I'm not speaking for everyone. There are some folks that do tremendously, right? But for example, like, I know a lot of folks that really just want to close in, work with a small team, which I totally get, and I'm that way as well. But I feel like now that I have the resources, man, I want to really just kind of spread the wealth a little bit.
Right.
Like, who am I to like have all this equipment at my crib and not really let anyone use it? You know what I mean?
Love.
So kind of like that example of what I'm doing, but more like on a bigger scale. I feel like that might be one of the things hindering the Bay Area, music culture, is that we just haven't really figured out a way to really break boundaries in terms of collaboration, break boundaries in terms of like just being open, Then again, I'm not speaking for everyone. Like I said, there's a lot of examples in the Bay that are doing that great. La Russell, a lot of studios out in the Bay, they have like events and stuff.
Shout out La Russell.
Shout out La Russell, man. Like, looking at him, bro, like just kind of made me want to be more collaborative because you really can't do this alone. I spent the last year and some change, like I'm dropping a shit ton of records, right? I'm putting out a lot of records. I put out probably 30 records since like 2022. But no, man, yeah, I would say that's it. I think the Bay is well on its way. I think we just need to be a little more open, and we just got to figure out how to really get the sound out there. And I think that will come through collaboration and opportunities. Yeah.
I think the big thing you touched on there was knowing the difference between transactional and, I guess, beneficial for everybody too. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the times it can be who you know, not exactly what you know or whatever. Because again, like you were saying, like you started this during COVID. Obviously, everyone was locked down and stuff like that. But you focused on your craft, you figured your stuff out. But now you're like, oh, okay, now it's time to expand, see what everyone else is about, collab. Because who knows, maybe one of your homies or one of your homies knows a venue or something like that, or a promoter or something. So I think that's huge.
100%, man. You got to open yourself up, especially when you have the means. You know what I mean? Like if I got the space, I got the equipment. Like we have to have people in there. We got to see what we can make. And I don't even know what we're gonna do with these songs yet, but I'm formulating ideas. So
it's so cool. The creative space is so cool. I might just ramble for like a quick second, but like, I feel like people, not artists, people who are just consumers of the art, almost take for granted. It's like, this thing did not exist. We like whatever song. I'll name one song off the top of my head. Favorite word, though. Like, did those sounds exist in like a kit somewhere? Yeah, but the way that they were arranged, the words that came out of my mouth, like those things did not just exist until we put our brains together and made the shit. You were in the studio too when it was made, right? So like when it comes to any kind of art, the fact that we are able to make something from nothing, like you said, like you don't know what's going to come out of it, but obviously with that many artists interested, if I'm not mistaken, off mic, you said, I'm not going to say the number, but you said a lot of artists are interested.
8 million? Yeah.
8 million.
Crazy. I don't know how we're going to fit them in.
8 million.
$10 at the door.
Bro, we'd have to open up a real studio then.
After 10, girls are free.
I was about to say after 10, chicks are free.
That's hella funny. Y'all are funny.
So talk to me a little bit about the recent music that you've been putting out, specifically your song With You. Like what was the inspiration behind that song? Because when I hear the phrase, now you know the reason why I open up my heart to you, I fuck with you, it sounds like the beat is very like dancey and up tempo, but like that is such like a deep line, like a sentimental line. It's like, look, it's almost like saying I keep my heart guarded, but for you, I open up my heart. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, man.
I fuck with you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and I appreciate you asking that. Honestly, it wasn't that deep when I wrote it, but no. To be honest, man, like I do that as well. Like I'll write a song, and like sometimes I'll find like different meanings of like the lines that I have, right? And that was like that's like the catchphrase of the song. Like every time you see me post or promote that song, it starts with "Now you know," right? So that's a great question.
I thought you were about to hit it right now.
But yeah, I think it's important to understand that like you can say something serious, but also just have it be lighthearted. You know what I mean? That's a very lighthearted song. It's a short song. It's very simple, short and sweet, right? To the point. But there's always a message behind my music, man. No matter the tone, no matter like what type of vibe, genre I'm going for. I always want to make sure that I'm putting something in there that shows a piece of me, right? And like, I think of my lady when I write that. You know what I mean? You know, I've been with my girl for a long time now. Coming up on 4 years. So it's easy to write about my relationship with her because it's very natural and like I don't have to like dig deep because everything I'm saying is what I'm feeling, you know?
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
Zay's that same way, you know, where he talks about like the things I'm not the same way too, but like in terms of like the lightheartedness, I know that Zay, like every verse he writes, every song he makes, there's a story behind
it's about
it.
Something.
Yeah.
Like I mean, shit. I've been doing this same thing about 6 years, but as you notice, like full songs like by myself, because I love collaborating with people, but like full songs by myself, there's probably like 6 that I have out right now, but it's like all of those are real shit I've been through, from like the party ones to the heartbreak to the love songs.
I listen to both of y'all music, bro. I can totally sense that.
Yeah.
I think you guys are great writers, for sure, from the experience I've had with y'all, you know?
Sweet. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, man, I think that's important. Like, I think it's important to write from real experience. A long time I struggled with that. It was really hard for me to write from real experience because I always felt like, damn, I feel like I'm opening up a can of worms, right? I feel like I might be talking about something that someone might not want me to be talking about.
Don't get them started.
Don't get me started. This is going to turn into my interview real quick.
No, it's all good.
Go ahead,
No, man, like we've shared stories. Like we've all had some happenings in the last couple of years. You know what I mean? Good and bad. So I think like going through those life experiences make it a little easier to write about real things. Yeah. And it's a very cliche answer, but I went through some stuff and I'm able to write about it now.
That's good.
You know what I mean? I think before it was a lack of experience maybe. Made it hard. I kind of had to pull from like hypothetical scenarios and whatnot and just use keywords that I thought sounded cool in music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
But now it's a little easier.
Well, because it is a balance. And you know, it's funny because I think it was you. It was a song I was showing you and a verse. I was like, oh, what do you think about this verse? And
I remember this.
There is a balance between like, okay, like you just, no one on earth, you didn't say it like this, but this is the way I'm interpreting it. He said, August, no one knows who the fuck you dated in high school, bro. Like, he didn't say it like that, but the word, it was like, this is like too personal. Yeah. Like, no one is going to like necessarily gravitate to, there's not like a punchline every other line that we could all relate to. It was just, every line was too personal, right? So then I had to find a way to be able to get my feelings out and tell the story, but also be relatable to whoever the consumer is, right? So I agree, where it's like, sometimes we get caught up in, I want this to be a song, but also I want it to be true and authentic to myself. Yeah. Do you find yourself in that kind of conundrum sometimes?
Yeah, I think I used to. And then I started writing songs like real, and I was like, we're just gonna have fun. Yeah. No, there's a balance though. Like, there's a few things I always tell myself I'm never gonna talk about in songs, and it's like, you know, acting a certain way towards women. Yeah. Saying that I mean, there's certain things where, like, you know, you pump up the lifestyle. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's hip hop. You know what I mean? Yeah. To a certain extent. As long as I'm working towards what I'm saying, I think that's authentic. You know what I mean? Because I'm what do they call that? Manifesting that. Facts. You know what I mean? I think that's totally okay. Facts. You know what I mean? As long as you're not specific with it, like, oh, I got 100K in the. You know what I mean?
I got 100K in the savings account in this offshore account, and this is how you start account.
Here's my pin.
I know, for real.
I'm sorry. He brought up the song "Real," and
I was just about to lead into that.
Go, dude. Go. You take the lead,
bro. Obviously, like, you know, homegrown. You did all this shit by yourself. You got the blueprint. You're working it out. Up and coming. But you got some big features in your catalog, bro.
Thanks, man.
So I've already seen, like, obviously all the homies and stuff around you. But you got some big names such as Neff the Pharaoh. I saw Lil Bean out there. Shout out both of them.
Shout out Bean, shout out Neff.
So just curious, bro. How how did you come about that? How did that happen?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna tell y'all a little paper trail story. I'll try to make it short and sweet and quick. It's all to my mom, bro. My mom, she's always supported my music. Like, she drives Uber Lyft. So, like, whenever she picks up a rider that, you know, she sees as younger, you know, maybe not like a old person, she probably wouldn't bring it up, but, like, you know, if it's someone younger, you know, she thinks like would like my music, she always like gives them a listen.
Free
like,
promo, bro.
Yeah, she's like, hey, you know this artist? Like, she always she always talks me up, man. You know, as moms do, right? Yeah. But I mean, she really goes balls to the wall with it. You know, she gets me followers all the time.
That's sick.
That's like, awesome. I'll wake up, because she gets up early, right? She's like, yo, I just got you 2 followers this morning. I'm like, damn, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, man, no, she's a real marketer. You know, she's better at it than me. So shouts out my mom. So 2015, I was chilling at home. I think I was writing a song. I was in the middle of writing a song. My mom called me. She's like, yo, I'm on the other side of Tracy. You know where the AM PM is?
Yeah.
By like Black Bear?
Yeah.
So she was there. There was this dude DJ in there. She tells him that I make music. He's interested in meeting me. So I change real quick. I shower, I change, I dip across town super quick. I meet the dude. Fast forward a few months later, he's fucking with the music, so he starts managing me. He starts bringing me to a studio in Oakland called Stay Tuned Studios, which is no longer around. But it was a great studio for the time, you know what I mean? They did great things, tremendous things for artists. I met a lot of super dope people there. Bars makes bangers. Bro has a Grammy now, shout out him. Wow. So yeah, I was just working with a bunch of talent, you know what I mean? So that really like gave me a look into like what the industry's like, especially Bay Area industry, you know? So I did that for a couple years. One of the artists I met through that manager, I met through another manager through that artist. And then a couple years after that, I started recording with this engineer who I was introduced to from that second manager. And that engineer is Dio, who's my manager now.
Cool.
Shout out Dio.
Yeah, shout out Dio, man. I owe like a lot to my mom, but I also owe a lot to Dio. He sets up a lot of plays for me. Cool. But I think really, man, what it comes down to is he just really believes in me, you know what I mean? And we have a great relationship, working relationship. So that's like my brother, my older brother, you know?
Right.
So he gives me like a lot of blueprints, you know? So I can't credit myself for a lot of what I'm able to attain, nor what I'm able to accomplish or do. I think, bro, like, even though my brand is very like self-sufficient, you know, DIY, like I have a lot of people in my corner that root for me. That's you know cool. what I mean? And like, that's why I want to share it with people like you guys, because I think we can all benefit from that. You know what I mean? Like collaboration and community is so vital, bro.
100%.
You can't do it alone.
Yeah. And you know what? I want to say thank you, right?
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
My song favorite word is right now my personal favorite song of mine.
Fire.
Right, it was
Wow,
produced
that's
by
crazy,
you.
bro.
And not just that, but like thank you on behalf of like putting the artist camp together. And even if I had just watched an interview of you, I think it's very cool that you look out for other artists, because a lot of this shit gets like ego driven, right? Where we get in each other's way or think like, man, like, is he really popping like that? Is she really popping like that? My music's better, or blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like I'm going to generalize. Most artists might think that way. Mm-hmm. And I used to as well.
I was really bad, bro.
Yeah.
I did go through some real shit to come out of that. You know what I mean?
Like what? Like what? I mean, you don't have to share the personal story.
No, it's all good, man. I mean, like
name drop.
Things. No, it's all good. Things I've done, things I've said at the wrong times. You know what I mean? Just I really had to grow a sense of humility. I lacked that for a long time, but I think it's because I was sheltered, and it's like that. I had like main character syndrome for a long time. You know what I mean? I'll openly admit that. I think all of us deal with that a bit, but mine was bad, bro. I hid that under the surface for, pretty well, but there were times where it just really came out and it wasn't cool, So definitely grew from that, which I'm thankful to God that it happened, you know what I mean? Because it was just a bad look. But yeah, man, I honestly think like losing everything that I did, like I want to be open because I don't really want to shut opportunities off like I used to because of my ego, you know what I mean? So that's a personal goal of mine. Even though it might not be easy, like I know at the end of the artist camp, bro, I'm going to have to be sitting there for days and like mixing records.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe for people that I'll never see again.
Yeah.
But man, like at the end of the day, bro, I can say I did it. I hosted it. It was a cool experience. I know we're going to get some dope shit out of it.
Facts.
So like at the end of the day, a little extra work on top of that is worth it to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
So
I think something that I want to touch on really quick.
Yeah.
Just about the whole, you like jumping into like just the industry in general. Like, I think one of the biggest things that I heard from what you're saying about meeting that guy at the gas station, stuff like that, is...
Bro, for real, that crazy.
You weren't scared to jump at the opportunity. You said your mom called you up, someone's at the gas station, a DJing, playing music, stuff like that. But I think what separates some of the people who make music like behind the scenes and just post it to their story and stuff, you heard an opportunity and jumped at it immediately.
100%.
Whereas a lot of people can be like, oh, cool, just give them my Instagram.
Yeah.
Instead, you were like, oh, let me get dressed, get my ass over there too. And I think that's a huge thing that more people should do, is jump at opportunities. I mean, like, that's how we met you.
I was about to say, shout out Zay.
So our boy, Darrett, shout out Darrett LaFleur.
Darrett LaFleur. LaFleur!
Yeah, he had posted your music video with Neff the Pharaoh.
Yeah.
And hella last minute saw it on his story.
Yeah.
And I called you up. You were like, yeah, I'm here eating sushi with my girl and Tracy. And I was like, all right, I just saw this music video shoot. One of Darrett's boys out in Oakland. I was like, you down to go?
That's fire.
Hella last minute, bro.
That's cool.
And then he was like, he hesitated for a second, and I was like,
I did hesitate.
When y'all pulled up to the shoot, I think one of y'all made a comment, not that night, but later on, where you were like, man, like, I could tell that you were professional because you greeted everyone and you were making sure everyone was
shook all of our
having a
hands.
good time. Yeah, man. Like I don't want to be in any environments where it's not like that. You know what I mean? Even if it's not something that I'm hosting or that I'm like the main reason why it's happening, right? I'm gonna bring that into the environment.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
100%.
But no, I totally understand the hesitation. But I shout out to both of y'all, man. Like, I think any times where anyone that I don't know personally is like taking an interest in my journey, like that's what connects me to y'all, because I appreciate that jump. Like you said, you jumped at the opportunity. You guys kind of did the same thing. You know what I mean? And I know like we're just getting stuff started. You know, I got a couple records with you. I haven't got as much of a chance to work with you yet, but
we'll get it soon.
We're gonna get it, bro. And like good things are coming. Like I'm not going nowhere. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a good future for all of us, I think. Yeah. So
I'm excited, man. Is there anything you want to say to the audience listening right now? Anybody listening out there?
Yeah, for sure. Stream with you out now. But besides that, besides the self promotion. I think right now the industry is going to a real collaborative space. One piece of advice I would give to any artist coming up is just like, you know, I'm coming up too, so like they said, I don't have the blueprint, right? We're all figuring it out. But I've gotten a lot of success in my life and my career by opening my career up to others. giving opportunities to others, taking all the opportunities that others give me. Music is purely collaborative. Nobody can really do it on their own, no matter how much they make you think they can. Even if an artist makes it on their own, they have the fans. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So just open yourself up, and you'll find success. That's all I gotta say.
Yep. Hey, tell the audience where they can find you.
So y'all can find me, Jorden Kyle, anywhere you stream music, by Jorden. So it's Jordan with a K, space Kyle. All platforms, Instagram, Twitter is JRDNKYLE, TikTok is fully spelled out. So yeah.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Get it rocking.
Thank you for coming to Nobody's Listening. Remember, when you think nobody's listening, somebody is.